What was your upbringing, and what inspired your sound of System of a Down, first off?
So thank you for the question, Kenny. That it's really interesting. My kind of my road toward music was very unique. I didn't start like most of my, band members in System of a Down at the age of 7 or 8 and playing music and knowing that that would be my destiny my whole life. I really didn't have I didn't gravitate toward music as a young kid. And my parents even bought me a guitar, said, "Do you want piano lessons?" And I'm like, no, 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 I'm too busy with my studies, that kind of thing. And it's in university. I went to Cal State Northridge, studying marketing. That's when I picked up a small Casio keyboard and started playing around as a meditative gesture, as a way of kind of just escaping it all. And it really kind of helped. And then I got a really nice keyboard and started, that was my first instrument, picked up guitar and all of that. And still years later, after I graduated university, it took me a few years to admit to myself that music was my destiny. We made a film called Truth to Power, with Live Nation Productions, and it kind of shows that kind of road of how I went from, not knowing that this was my destiny to admitting that this was. And it was a beautiful kind of awakening, an epiphany. I always say I had to go to the far reaches of who I don't want to be to admit to myself who I am.
Man, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's a little bit like Michelangelo saying, I have to take away all the things in the block of marble that are not the David to find out what the David is inside. I love that, Serj. That's so
beautiful,
self-aware.
Thank you.
Which great musicians are.
Yeah. So I want to know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go.
So I had this epiphany, and I'm like, shit. Music is my life. This is what I need to do. And from that day forward, I dove in, deeply, and that was before, obviously, System of a Down, and how that sound developed with System is very interesting because we have 4 unique characters in the band, all pulling and pushing this unique kind of experience apart in different directions, and it's those amalgamation or diversity of those directions that make the interesting sound of the band.
And were you a singer as a kid?
My dad sung. He's got a beautiful voice, and so I'd sing with him and stuff. But I wasn't, I guess I did sing. I did. They would write me up, and I would sing in the church. So I would sing, as a choir, as a small boys choir. I had a great voice, but I got tired of doing that. And then one day I remember telling the priest, I don't want to do this anymore, and he was really upset. And he said, "In our age, we would be embarrassed to tell the priest that we don't want." I'm like, "Well, that was your age, wasn't it?" So I was also rebellious, but I never, it's interesting that I really didn't take music seriously. And I was, I graduated university. I went to work with my uncle in the jewelry business for years. I had, I knew how to do that. And I've been in the shoe business. I started my own software company. At one point I was like, maybe I should be a lawyer. So I signed up for law school. Well, not law school, but the LSAT exams. And I was driving down from downtown LA to Long Beach to take these Kaplan classes to learn how to take the LSAT. And that was it. That was the trigger, going way too far into what I shouldn't be. And you see all these people, young people, excited to become lawyers. And I fucking hated lawyers at the time because my parents were going through a horrific lawsuit, and I was dealing with all of that. I was dealing with lawyers. And that became the epiphany that I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I got to do music. This is the only way I could save my life.
Did you do a U-turn on like the 5 freeway? I mean, or an emotional U-turn kind of?
No, but I skid. It was a rainy night. It was very dramatic. It was a rainy night. It was like late at night after these Kaplan classes in Long Beach. Driving home, I was on Laurel Canyon going up the hill, and I had a Jeep Wrangler at the time, and I skid. I literally stopped. I banged my fucking, steering wheel, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do music. I'm gonna fucking, I just literally screamed. And that was it. And that changed my life.
Some people don't have as dramatic of a realization, but that's the real deal right there.
Yeah.
Or as dramatic of a result.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people may be in Laurel Canyon at this very moment banging the steering wheel and saying, I'm going to fucking do music. But not all of them then go out and create a worldwide sensation. So you were destined to have that moment. And then thank God you did, because so many people have responded to and been influenced by you.
Yeah,
So
thank you, Robert. Yeah.
that was a great revelation.